How did shoot? Edit overlay scene. How did I get rid of? I don't even know how I did it. There we go. 65. This is not the intro. This is not what I had up here before. How did I do this? How do I get out of this? There we go.
Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
There we go. What's going on, people? We still getting it together. We still learning Streamlabs. We still trying to get it right. What's going on? Not too much news going on in Philadelphia. A lot of news going on in Cleveland, though. But not too much going on here. A little bit more of the same old, same old. And people are just trying to figure it out. And yeah, Panda, people freaking out. Thinking Fangio is retiring. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Is my chat box on? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I saw 97.5 today. I was watching, I was listening, and I caught the end of the Adam Schefter conversation where he teased that there may be some other big news other than the offensive coordinator announcement. And then of course they're like, well, what other news? What could it be? What could it be? And you know, everybody in Philadelphia start crashing out. They start crashing out on the radio stations. Everybody's talking about it, and I'm like, that possibility exists, whether Adam Schefter says it or not, and whether or not he knows anything or not. You know, well, we gonna get what we gonna get. That's where I am with it. We gonna get what we get. So for Everybody that's trying to make a story, um, I don't know if Schefter did that on purpose because he knew people would just take it and run with it. He literally did not say anything. Didn't say anything of substance. That's like to what he said today on 97.5 was to me was equivalent of somebody saying, this weekend somebody's gonna drive a car in the street. Yeah, that's gonna happen. There was no reason to. I don't know. They just went above and beyond. I'll believe it when I see it. We'll get it when we get it, and it is what it is. Um, and even like the other day where they were talking to Schefter. This was last week, and they were talking to Schefter, and they kept trying to get him to say something about Sirianni and what he thought was going to happen. And I'm like, first of all, why do you think Adam Schefter is more tuned in to what's going on in Philadelphia than Philadelphia's local media? Why do you think he knows something that y'all don't? And y'all live here in the city. And he was trying to tell him that he didn't know anything, but they just kept, they were looking for story, and they even admitted they looking for story, and they just kept fishing and kept fishing, and it just sounded more and more ridiculous. So that's the way it is now. So love it or leave it. It is what it is. So, but I saw the news with Cleveland. Made a video, a quick video today about that. But that showed me one thing, and it's like, don't be so quick to just grab the biggest and baddest name. You think that's the biggest, baddest name that's out there. That's find the person that you want. If Todd Monkins is the people that they want, now it was very costly because it cost them Jim Schwartz, and I think they thought that Jim Schwartz was going to stay regardless, and Jim Schwartz pieced out. He was gone. He was like, y'all ain't gonna take me through this ringer, and y'all had me believing I was gonna get this job because that's what I think happened. I think they was talking a good game, and they had convinced that Jim Schwartz was going to keep that job. And when they gave it to Tom Monken, somebody that doesn't have head coach experience, Jim Schwartz at least has that and had command of that defense. Now, not only they get a head coach that doesn't have any experience being a head coach, he had success being a coordinator, but not as a head coach. Vastly different. And now you got to find a new defensive coordinator, and you might have to find a new defensive staff. Because if Schwartz is gone, all the people that's under Schwartz, who's staying and who's going? So now you got a whole situation that you probably didn't have to deal with otherwise. Well, you're dealing with it now. So if Todd Monkins was the guy that y'all wanted, that was a very expensive hire. With now all the stuff that you got to do, and y'all had a great defense with Myles Garrett leading the way. Y'all had a great defense last year. Now you got to start from scratch. It's a whole different ballgame when you get a new voice in there. You still might have the same players, but there is no guarantee that the players will resonate with that new coach, that new voice, whoever's leading the ship. There is no guarantee. So now y'all starting back at square one. Shador is starting back at square one because guess what? You're going to get a new offense. So all of that talk about, repping with the ones and stuff like that, all that stuff goes back to zero because now you got a new offense, a new scheme that you got to learn. So now everybody is back at square one. The only thing is I hope that Todd Monkins likes Shador Sanders. I hope they give him an opportunity to be the starter because I think he earned that. Or at least he earned the right to be considered the number one going into camp this year. But, all of their rookies was balling. So let's see what they're going to do with that. But as far as Philly is concerned, all we got to do is watch and wait. There is no guarantee that all of these big wigs, that's taking all these other jobs, because that's the narrative now. Nobody wants to come to Philly. There's something wrong with Philly. That's the narrative now. They was quick to put that out there, but you don't know what you got. Because the long and short of it is all of these all of the big names that everybody say they want. Brian Daboll, McDaniel, um, Kafka, Clint Kingsbury, all of these big name coaches, Harbaugh, that they say they want. What happens if they don't have winning records or make it to the playoffs next year? What happens with that? Now you right back to the same situation you was already in. Ain't nothing guaranteed with them. Nothing guaranteed with them. So if we get Jim Bob Cooter, guess what? If Jim Bob Cooter can coach, he might be able to do something different than he was doing in Detroit. That's my point. Everybody's different when they're in a new environment. You feel different, you think different, you got different voices in your head that can offer different points of opinion and strategy and advice. So the way you come across might be a little bit different. So we'll see. We shall see. But if Jim Bob Cooter is the guy and he can figure out how to get the best out of out of Jalen Hurts, so be it. Function, I hope you're 100% right. I hope AJ is staying and him and Hurts go on the run next season. Let's go. I'm all with it. I'm all with it. And I saw a couple of reports today of people posting. I gotta distinguish that. People's posts on X, right? And I saw, it was Mark Schlereth. And I like Mark Schlereth. I think he's a fantastic analyst. I just think he got this wrong because all he's going off of is the public opinion of what's going on in Philadelphia. And he tried to spin it like AJ Brown was like a malcontent and causing problems and divisive in the locker room. And I was like, once again, they on that BS because they going with the national narrative and they're not in Philadelphia. They're not in Philadelphia. So what that means is all they getting is notes. Maybe they'll know somebody that's in the town, but if you ain't tied into the team, you guessing like everybody else. You getting your news from radio and TV and internet. That's it. So Jeff McClain said on his newest podcast, up the par. Cam and Landon Dickerson were not 100% through the year, but Cam Jurgens was especially bad this year. I don't know what it was because you cannot tell me what he did last year in our Super Bowl run that he just forgot how to play because he was doing some Olay blocks, just letting people swim them and wasn't touching them. And I was like, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? Because the year after Jason Kelce left, Cam Jurgens was about that life. You never missed Jason Kelce. You never heard Cam Jurgens' name mentioned. And that's always a good thing when you're talking about offensive linemen. Because offensive linemen, the only time you talk about them is when they get a penalty. So Cam Jurgens was on point the year after Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce made the right choice. He definitely made the right choice. And I don't know what happened this year. He was trying to fight through an injury. I don't know what he was grinding through. I have no idea. But it was not working. Not even close. So hopefully they'll get that straightened out in the offseason. Get some more young guys in here so we can bolster up the depth. And we can get back to business. So I don't know. And honestly, I don't care if Stoutland was not run game coordinator. Whatever you got to do to make it better than it was this past year. That's what you got to do. That should be an easy bar to fix. So, Function, I'm with you on AJ, man. I know AJ Brown is a leader, and I know that's how I know everybody's on the outside looking in with these reports because you've never heard anybody say anything bad about AJ Brown. He's still the captain of that team, and everybody respects him as such. So They're going to say what they want to say, but we're going to figure it out. Because you got to say this. The possibility exists that they are right. The possibility exists that A.J. Brown was feeling really bad, and maybe they were seeing some cracks in the armor and he was leaking in the locker room. I don't know. I don't know. But for the most part, um, it was all it was all good. It was just a couple of games where he was not himself on the field. And everybody gets a turn. Jordan Mailata was not great either, by no stretch. By no stretch of the imagination. He was not great either. So I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one. Arthur, I'm trying to get that together. I'm trying to work on that. I'm gonna do some stuff tomorrow. Trying to get where I can get guests in. I'm just not familiar with how to do it using this Streamlabs. I got to do some more YouTube homework. Um, yeah, I got to figure it out. So I'm with you, and I want to get you guys an opportunity to get on. Um, but what I'm trying to do is trying to force myself to use this software because I already paid for it. StreamYard ain't going nowhere. When me and Tone do our show, until I get more comfortable with this, I'm going to still be using StreamYard because StreamYard is just that easy. But I like some of the bells and whistles. Like you'll see if anybody ever does a super chat or something like that, I get the little pop-ups and all that kind of stuff. I like that type of interaction. And I can't get that with StreamYard. So I'm trying to force myself to get proficient in Streamlabs. But it's coming. I appreciate you. I ain't forget. I ain't forgot about you. I ain't forgot about Tiff. I ain't forgot about Chris 3K. Um, I ain't forgot about Carlos. None of y'all. I want to get it happening, but I got to be proficient and know what the hell I'm doing because this is a one man show, so I'm doing it how I got to do it. Because like when I do me and Tone show, when I do the Bald Eagles podcast, that's me producing in the back. I'm setting up the thing, and I know Tone can do it, but Tone is with his schedule, it's just easier for me to do it. So I had to teach myself how to do it, how to get everything set up, and I'm trying to do the same way with Streamlabs. So it's coming. It's coming. I forget about don't I ain't forget about y'all, man. Coach, the background is insane. I appreciate that, man. Y'all know I work hard on my graphics, man. Y'all know I work hard on my graphics, man. Cyberdelphia, bro. Got to come up with some new stuff, man. I'm keeping everything the same for another week. I'm keeping it the same for another week because we have one more week of being defending Super Bowl champions. So, um, would you draft Bama quarterback over Mendoza? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't. Did they declare? Are they coming out? I think Mendoza's coming out. Um, but I don't know, man. It's so things are so after the whole situation with Arch Manning. I was so happy like for Mendoza and all of that kind of stuff because somebody talk about somebody else that was really putting in the work and really letting everybody know that they were the real deal. Arch Manning was good, but when you're talking about when people praising him as the best quarterback in the country, this, that, and the other, just because of his name and he ain't show up, miss me with that. Arch Manning was good. I'll give him good. He started out just average and got better. But I'm not jumping off the cliff for him. He was good, but he wasn't great in my opinion. And if his name wasn't Manning, would he be getting the same type of attention? Hell no. Y'all already know that deal. The name is carrying him. And this year, in my opinion, he didn't live up to it. Not even close. Not even close. So, trying to see where are we? Man. So yeah, man, we got hell. You see Gerard Johnson, Jim Bob Cooter. Uh, I think half the reason why people don't want Jim Bob Cooter is because his name sounds like something off of Andy Griffith. For those of you who remember Andy Griffith, because there was a dude on the show named Cooter that worked at the garage. But I don't know, man. I'm not even worried about it anymore. I used to be a little bit, but I'm not getting caught up in that. What up, schoolboy? Yeah, Paul Feinbaum. Yeah, he had a lot of he ate a lot of crow for his comments about Arch Manning. What's your opinion on what Shady said about Hurts? Do you think there's any truth to it? Unless he said anything else when he was saying that he didn't think he was thinking that was that when he said the that they don't want to come here because of Hurts or something to that effect. At the end of the day, that's just his opinion. That's just his opinion. Because guess what? He didn't have them opinions when we was winning. He didn't have them opinions when we was going to the Super Bowl. So wasn't nobody saying all of that. And this is the thing. Me and Tone talked about this the other day, and I've been saying this for weeks. You can't say anything bad about Jalen Hurts. You can criticize, but you can't rip Jalen Hurts because he got the ultimate prize and he did it his way. And he did it after years and years and years and years and years of people telling us fans that type of quarterback cannot win. And y'all understand what I'm saying. We had decades on decades of that said that type of quarterback couldn't win. Because first it was just the black quarterback. Whether he was dropped back, they gave it to Warren Moon. Listen, I played under Doug Williams. Doug Williams was my coach my first year in the World League. So I got a chance to know Doug, talk with Doug, learn from Doug, and some of the stories he told me on how they did him in Washington. Won him the Super Bowl, and then they wanted to get rid of him for Jeff Rutledge. Look at how that turned out. But the bottom line was back then, they did not want black quarterbacks. Point, period, in the paragraph. They did not. You know how many good black quarterbacks came out and they moved them to wide receiver and running back? Until you had somebody like Warren Moon. And then Warren Moon had to play, what, 8-9 years in the Canadian League before they let him back? Or before they even let him be a quarterback? And that style of quarterback, the scrambling quarterback, they didn't want to give people the time of day. They just didn't. They just didn't. I don't know if I've ever told y'all like my experience in Canada. I played against Doug Flutie. I saw Doug Flutie with my own eyes in Canada when he was still playing for the Toronto Argos. We went down there, played them. Hamilton Tigers versus Toronto. It was a hell of a game. And when I tell you Doug Flutie put on a damn show, that man put on a show. And I made it a point after that game to find him on the field and shake his hand. And I told him face to face, like, man, don't let anybody tell you different. You belong in the league, period. I got a chance to tell him that face to face because that is a bad man. I saw it for myself. So don't tell me that guys like Jalen Hurts and Michael Vick and that type of quarterback can't win because they can. You just got to get the right coach to pull it out of them. We didn't see that type of coach or that type of quarterback win, in my opinion, until we saw Steve Young win it. Because Steve Young was a scrambler. Steve Young could get the hell up out of Dodge, but he was also a good in the pocket quarterback. He was doing the best of both worlds. But unfortunately, there was a lot of good quarterbacks that was just as good as Steve Young, but never got the opportunities because the color of their skin. So when I say that type of quarterback, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And even in this day, they still don't want to deal with it. But how many quarterbacks do we see that are the stereotypical drop back quarterback? 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", great arm. How many times have we seen those guys never make it? We still waiting for Justin Herbert. Will it be different with McDaniel back there? I don't know. I don't know. Tua was supposed to be better than Jalen, wasn't he? Yeah. Trevor Lawrence, Golden Boy, had the look, had the all of the style points that everybody looking for. Had the height, had the look, had the arm, everything. 6'4" was had everything. Josh Allen, do we even need to get into Josh Allen story again? Do we even need to get into that? Listen, man, you got to play the game. You got to play the game. I don't know why Jalen Hurts. There we go. Appreciate you, schoolboy, with the super chat. I hope y'all checking out my new Arc Raider graphics. I like that. I started playing that game now. Why did I do that? Ugh, that game is crazy. I love that game. So I'm trying to temper myself. Shady turned to Steven Steven on Django when Allen is mentioned, though. I really think they hate Jalen for the same reasons Foxworthy does. Um, they wives. Oh, and Foxworthy was talking about the pretty privilege. I don't think they hate Jalen. They just, I think everybody ends up falling into that stereotypical perspective of what they expect out of their quarterback. When the one thing that Jalen Hurts has proven that nobody wants to give him credit for is that he can win, and any quarterback can win when you got the right team around you. You can win it your way. Because look what happened to Matthew Stafford. Look what happened to Josh Allen. Look what happened to Trevor Lawrence. All these quarterbacks, look at what happened to Justin Herbert. All these quarterbacks that can do everything. That if you want to take a number one pick at QB, those guys are the ones you would take. And what do they have to show for it? The second rounders are beating you. Mr. Irrelevant is beating you. And now look at this year. I do not expect Drake May to beat Sam Darnold. I don't. The way Sam Darnold has been playing, Sam Darnold has been off the chain. But let them tell a story from them people in Minnesota and with the Jets. They didn't have that on their bingo card. And I'll say it again. When you get to a new environment and you get different voices, if you get with the right people and the right team at the right time, you are going to be hard to beat. And right now, that is Sam Darnold. All of the jokes that he used to catch in Minnesota. And then he became a laughing stock in New York. And then you finally get to a squad and it finally clicks. And you get that big sigh of relief. Because how many of y'all had it on your bingo card that he was going to the Super Bowl? Nobody. Nobody. There's a lot of people that didn't even want him to be a starter. Stop playing. But all it takes is for you to be with the right team at the right time. That's all it takes. Look at DeMarcus Lawrence. All them years in Dallas, talking all that smack in the circus, drinking that Dallas Kool-Aid. And the minute he get up out of there, look at where he is. I'm pulling for Seattle just because I want to see DeMarcus Lawrence get a Super Bowl ring so he can look at all of them fools in Dallas and it was like, this is how you do it. And y'all got to stop drinking that damn Jerry Kool-Aid. That Jerry flavored Kool-Aid is killing you down in Dallas. So, I want to see people get their opportunity to win a championship. I don't want to see great players never win one. But you can't just put them on a pedestal like it's just supposed to happen. Man, get out of here with that. It is so very difficult. Even with the opportunities we had with the Eagles, we had many opportunities this year, but we couldn't. Everybody knew what was going on, and we still couldn't get right. And we had a bomb-ass defense. Couldn't get right. We got. At the worst possible time, we got. So now we in Cancun watching the playoffs, mad because we got a case of the what ifs. We down in there on our Jet 2 holiday, man. Josh Allen always been a turnover machine, man. So Art, you can't say that, man. Sam Darnold did what he was. Sam Darnold still doing the same stuff. He's still doing the same stuff, but he got a better crew around him. So you can't make that a negative because there's no such thing as a quarterback that does it by himself. You can't say that. He's the leader of that team. Would he be doing the same thing if he was still in Minnesota? Would he be doing the same thing if he was still with the Jets or in Tennessee or wherever he was? No, because the environment was different and it wasn't ready. Seattle was ready. Seattle, you had the right coach, the right team, the right defense. Everything was in place. That is why it's so difficult. And even in a losing effort, like you still got to give a team like the Buffalo Bills credit. When you go back into the Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas days and Bruce Smith days, when they went to 4 Super Bowls in a row, and the only reason they lost them was because of a kicker. They should have won at least one of them. Stupid kickers. But you got to give them credit because it is so very hard to get to 1 Super Bowl, let alone 4 in a row. It sucks because they didn't win one. But that's still one of the best teams ever. But now, it is the way things are now, the way free agency is, it is so very difficult, man. So very difficult. But Schefter is not a clown. He is a tool of the NFL. Let's keep it and look at it for what it is. Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, all of these guys are just mouthpieces for the NFL. They choose who they want to call to leak information. Why do you think that Adam Schefter will be on television somewhere and he'll step off screen? Because that's the bit now. That's the bit that all these guys are doing. They'll be on somebody's show and all of a sudden, oh, hold on, I got to take this phone call, and everybody's like, "Ooh, we got some breaking news. That's a bit now." But who do you think calling them? The teams call them. That's part of the process. Adam Schefter didn't magically gain that information. Somebody called him and gave it to him. It's a controlled leak by the NFL. If they want information disseminated to the masses, they got their 3 people to go to. Schefter, Ian Rappaport with his rap sheet, and Tom Pelissero. That's what they do. It's controlled leak. So, yeah, Saber. Coaching matters. Coaching matters. Absolutely. Do you think Jalen Hurts would be somewhere else or would have a Super Bowl ring if he was on another team? If here's the and I've said this before. If Doug Peterson stays, do we have another Super Bowl champion? I think about that all the time. If Doug Peterson stays on the team, does Jalen Hurts have the same trajectory that he's had with Nick Sirianni? Because that's another thing. We don't even need to get on Nick Sirianni because nobody wanted him. That's why I'm not worried about this coaching search. We got Nick Sirianni, and he's the last person y'all thought was going to be able to take us to the promised land. The very last. But all you got to do is give somebody an opportunity and let them work. Let them do what they do. You don't get to this level by being not good at your job. Everybody's good in the NFL. Some people are better than others, and that the cream rises to the top. Even McVay, he's a wonder kid, couldn't get it done. Dan Campbell, the old school attitude, he still made mistakes. Take the points, y'all. Kevin Stefanski, two-time coach of the year, gets fired in Cleveland because he can't figure out what the hell he wants to do with his quarterback. So it's I keep saying it, man. It's so difficult. And even when you are a big name coach or coordinator, it's still extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult to get everybody on your team facing the same direction. It's hard. And all of these people that used to be coordinators that want to be head coaches, it's not the same. It's not the same. You may have had success somewhere else. I'm interested to see what Tom Monken is going to do in Cleveland because he was a coordinator. He was responsible for some of Lamar's good years in Baltimore. But when you got the full tilt and you got everything to worry about, you got to change your focus. You can't just be a coordinator no more. What people used to say? Like, listen, you got one job. You got one job. Well, you can't say that no more if you a head coach. You got to watch everything. Offense, defense, special teams, when to call a timeout, when to chew out the refs, all of that type of stuff. Everything is on you. Win, lose, or draw. That's a lot more responsibility than just being a coordinator. So, again, I don't care who we get. As long as whoever we get, they got to be better at the chess match than Kevin Patullo was. And I'm saying that knowing good and well that everything that happened to us last year wasn't on Kevin Patullo. It was not. But having said that, however, I still think that was the right move to get rid of Kevin Patullo because I just think he wasn't quite ready, in my opinion. We were too hot and cold, too bipolar with that offense, and we shouldn't have been. Shouldn't have been. So, um, it is what it is. It is what it is. We might end up with Matt Nagy. How good of a job did Matt Nagy do in Kansas City? How did Kansas City look? Why do you think they brought back Bieniemy? Ain't nobody really thought about that. I have said that I would love to have Eric Bieniemy here as offensive coordinator because I think Jalen would thrive under his leadership. But it just didn't happen. So, you know. But why were they so quick to jettison Matt Nagy to get Bieniemy back? So we'll see. We're gonna get who we get. And all they have to do is be better than Kevin Patullo was down the stretch last year. So, but you can't. We couldn't keep Patullo, in my opinion. It just we was losing the chess match, man. I say this all the time. Just because you know how to play chess, don't mean you good at it. Just because you know how to drive a car, don't mean you can drive an 18-wheeler. You gotta practice and um, you gotta increase your game. It's got to get better and better and better. What do I always say? If you're the smartest guy in the room, find a new room. Keep learning. And Kevin Patullo would have some peaks, and it was good until it wasn't. That's what I think of when I think of Kevin Patullo. It was good until it wasn't. You have some good games. It's like that's what I'm talking about. That's what our offense is supposed to look like. And in the next game or the next half, you like, what did you do, dude? What did you go to sleep? What happened? Guess we'll never know. Guess we'll never know. Uh, if not Matt Nagy, then who? I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter because again, two things are going to happen. One or two things is going to happen. They're going to be better than Kevin Patullo was, and we're going to look a little bit better. Or they're not, then everything falls on Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, and one of them going to have to go. So all of the people that don't like Hurts and or Sirianni, you might get your wish. Because if our offense looks like it did last year, somebody getting fired again. And it'll probably be Nick. So David Shaw, buzz about David Shaw. Everybody that's still interviewing is good. Everybody's good. So we just gotta, wait to see wait to see what we get. That's the long and short of it. That's the long and short of it. We gotta wait to see what we get. So it is what it is. Yeah, Jalen could take any good OC to the playoffs, but um, we needed a little extra, and we never got it. We never got it. So no need to panic. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. What's up, schoolboy, with the $2 super chat? Um, that's a good question, man. Was Nagy bad or was Kansas City roster kind of subpar? Um, Patrick Mahomes got hurt too, and heck, I mean, even you know what? That's a good point because I think Mahomes wasn't great. I think Travis Kelsey was losing his luster a little bit, and the question becomes: was it the play calling or was it the quarterback? Jim Bob Cooter was in Detroit. Was it his play calling that caused them to fail going to the playoffs? Not really. Receivers' hands got on the ball and they couldn't come down with the catch. That ain't the coach's fault. But they're the scapegoat. So, you know, we all know how that works. So, listen, man, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I'm not worried. I'm not scared. You scared, get a dog. But they going the one thing I know is Howie and Jeffrey Lurie are doing their homework. And what they have learned and the experience they got with the whole Doug Peterson thing and with Nick Sirianni, he was the last candidate in the building, and they ended up hiring him, and they took the lumps after that hiring. They were flame roasting the Eagles after that hire with Nick Sirianni. They were catching hell from all sides, but you just got to let some people grow. Let him grow into his role, and that's exactly what he's done. And everybody said he couldn't coach, and what exactly does he do, and all this. Forgetting that there's been other great coaches that didn't call plays, and this everybody just completely forget about that because they really don't like Sirianni. That's the problem with Sirianni. Nobody really likes him, and Philly loves him. So it's one of them things, man. One of them things. So, but all right, man. I'm about to get up out of here. I've been rocking for about an hour, so I'm good to go. So, but I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, some of this ice will melt. Um, Still digging ourselves out, and even though it was cold today, the sun was out, and it just made everything worse somehow. So, but I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Wanted to holler at y'all for about an hour. I did my WNBA video, I did my NFL video, so we making moves, man. We making moves. The plan is to have the new theme song done and up next week. So trying to work on that. Um, and not stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning playing Arc Raiders. So if you jump on Arc Raiders, look for Pop Pop. That's my screen name now. POP_POP. So I'm Pop Pop because I'm always playing with my grandson. But all right, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Y'all have a good night. We gonna get there. Don't worry about it. We gonna get there. Just relax. And like I said, man, I'm gonna do some homework, so I can get the thing where I can open up the mic and get some people on with me. So we gonna make sure we do that. So Tiff, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Tiff. Yeah, I'm gonna get up out of here. Stay tuned. I know it's gonna be some more news tomorrow. Looks like we in a hot news cycle this week, so ain't no telling what's gonna happen. But I'm gonna bring you the goods tomorrow. We gonna see what we gonna see. All right, y'all have a good night. Enjoy yourselves. Hope y'all ain't still snowed in and iced in like them people in Philadelphia. And I'm gonna catch y'all tomorrow. All right, go Birds.
Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk where we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. From touchdowns on the Gridiron on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream.